losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it, and I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
Hello, welcome to Tile Coach. I'm Isaac Ostrom. Thank you for your patience. We had a few technical difficulties getting Ben hooked up to the Ecamm Live software, so thank you very much. Super stoked you're here. Today I'm going to be talking with Ben Santos of Hamilton Tile in Atlanta, Georgia. Ben, I feel like I've known him a long time. Our first conversation was actually a few days ago, but Ben is, I feel like I've known him because, of course, with social media, you really do get to know someone's personality over a long period of time. So I'm stoked to have Ben. He's a straight shooter. He kind of just tells it like it is, no frills. And so, yeah, anyways, let's get started. I'm gonna see if Ben is ready to come on here. And hopefully he got his camera all set up. Let's see. Okay. Ben, how you doing?
Hey, I'm really well today. I'm excited to be here. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you.
Okay, perfect, Ben. Well, I'm going to kind of get right into it so that our viewers here, we got 83 people right now watching this live stream, so that's awesome. Thank you guys on a Saturday morning for joining us. Looks like we might have lost your feed there a little bit, Ben, so I'm going to get right into some of your social media posts so people, my viewers, can get to know you a little bit better.
Here's why you never hire a contractor that is going to meet your budget. Your budget is ultimately arbitrary. It's based on what you want to spend, and what you want to spend has no influence over what things actually cost. Potentially, this contractor is going to cut corners on the things that you can't see in order to meet your budget, which is going to affect the overall finished product. It may not look right, it may not function right, and it may not last. The most important part of a bathroom remodel or any work is the things that you can't see that are underneath. So you don't want your contractor cutting corners on those things in order to meet your budget. What I recommend is saving your money, waiting a little while, acquiring the funds to do what needs to be done, and hire the right person.
All right, Ben. So, yeah, I like how you talked a lot up there about the pricing and how important it is to get a tile job done right. And if you don't have the funds necessary to do it right now, it's better to wait till you have enough money and hire the right contractor. Is that kind of what you were trying to portray in that Instagram reel there?
Yeah, I find that oftentimes people really hunt for the deal. Okay, it's a characteristic that I find in a lot of the folks that I talk to, and I think in remodeling it's not really a good characteristic because ultimately I respect everybody that's in this trade and that works with their hands. And ultimately, there's always someone that's willing to do it a little cheaper. And what I always say is that the difference between a lifetime tile install and a temporary tile install is 100 details that a homeowner can't see. And I see that more and more. We get probably a disproportional amount of failure calls to go see things were done by other people that people are unhappy with, and I see a lot of failures in the Atlanta, Georgia area. I don't know. Is it like that where you're at? Isaac?
I think California, because of so many rules and regulations and the historical, strength of the unions especially in the Bay Area and Southern California, LA. I think there was so much training, even though the unions aren't very strong now. There was a time when almost every tile setter who was doing tile on a large scale was in a union, so they had real a real emphasis on education, standardized methods, which are obviously different than in your neck of the woods. Most of the stuff was done with mortar beds and stuff like that, floating walls. But still, there was most of the training that got passed down. So even though I wasn't trained in a union, my setter that I learned from was a 25-year union master tile setter. So I think there has just been a little more education and standards in California. Also, building codes and inspections and stuff like that is probably a little bit more here in California. So I think as a whole, we probably see less than in other areas of the country. I know, Texas and Florida seem to be real hotbeds for just disaster tile jobs, because I get people that reach out to me and a lot of these jobs, and they're done by so-called professionals, right? These are professional tile installation companies that are doing these bathrooms with zero waterproofing, putting it right on drywall, doing stuff that's just you wouldn't even think of doing out here. I think in California it happens, but it's just not as commonly accepted of a practice. But yeah, I know Atlanta, the South, they tend to have a lot of problems with that.
What I'm also seeing out here is a general degradation of the overall understanding that the general public has of even what good tile work is. That's why I do so much of um, brand development and videos and photos, and so they can at least have an understanding of what it actually looks like. Because I go into some places and I think to myself, how did they even get away with that? But the homeowner is perfectly happy, and that's always odd to me that the standards have gone down so much that people are happy with some really some tile work that in your business would not be acceptable. But the price, but Jason and I, what we like to say is that for the right price, people will put up with all sorts of undesirable behavior and also undesirable finished product. And I see the waste in that, which I really have a problem with. I go on Zillow and I go on I look at real estate, and some of these bathrooms are a disaster. And when Hamilton Tile, Jason and I go into a place when we're done at our homeowners' homes, I know that we built something that's worth money. I know that we improved that home and built something really solid. And a lot of this is based on our mindset of functionality and longevity first, our inner compass of a high standard of finish, and that's the most important part
Yeah,
of what we do as
yeah,
owner operators.
yeah. And I want to get into, I pulled up one of your Instagram reels that shows some of your methods and the care that you take in the waterproofing part. But before that, yeah, I totally get what you're saying about how, yeah, I always wonder that too. Like, how is this acceptable? One thing I've noticed, and this is just like something, not even with the structural waterproofing or anything, I see a lot of where they don't use any trim on the tile. They will literally take, whatever 12 by 24 or a subway tile or whatever, any end, a wall finish, they're just using the raw edge of a tile to finish. No Schluter, no bullnose, no, jolly trims or anything. And I talk to people and they go, "Oh yeah, that's just the way they do it around here." I'm like, "Really?" They just don't finish the ends of the tiles, and like you were talking about, it's just kind of an accepted way of doing things. And I don't know, especially in this day and age with so much information on the internet, either YouTube or Instagram or just doing a blog search on Google, you can find this information on what a properly done tiled shower should look like. So I think, by doing these discussions, these live streams and everything, and people in the Atlanta area, when this pops up in their Google search for tile, they'll see this video. And so that's one of my main goals with this channel, is to kind of raise the bar of tile installation, of what it should be. That's the obviously subjective of what I think a proper tile job is, but there are standards, of course, TCNA, NTCA. There's a lot of standards, standardized methods to do tile correctly. So let's get into. You touched on doing things right and how you guys do things differently. I want to play this reel that talks a little bit about using the waterproofing methods that you use.
Your showers will not leak ever.
Here's the difference, and it's a very simple one. It's a waterproof membrane put together with a waterproof glue. It's not one coat of topical paint-on waterproofing. It's not waterproofing the seams. This is waterproof. This is waterproof. This is waterproof. This is not Curdy put together with thinset. This is Curdy put together with a waterproof glue. It's a whole different level of waterproofing in your home. It's not a belt with suspenders. It's a 100% drain to ceiling waterproof shower behind the tile. This is waterproof. This brown stuff is the glue that we put it together with. That's waterproof. This is a 100% waterproof envelope, which will make your tile last.
Don't just take my word for it. Ask around. How do you waterproof?
Okay, yeah, I really like that, Ben.
Is that a bulletproof system, Tile Coach? Is that the Maserati?
That's the Maserati. Well, if you're talking, Schluter type installation methods, that is how it is recommended to do in Europe, where the system actually came from. So, you probably saw some of my videos on Curdy Call, which is how they require Schluter to be installed in Europe. And basically Ardex 8+9, I don't know if they're made in the same factory, but I've had both products side by side. They smell the same, they look the same, they perform the same. So I think that company that's making the Ardex 8+9 is the same one that's making the Curdy Call L. But yeah, that's, when I brought that video over here to America, people were blown away. They're going, what is this Curdy Call? And I know it gave Schluter fits, and I almost, I guess I don't really feel bad, but, Schluter just got hammered with, calls about, where's Curdy Call? How do I get Curdy Call? I saw, you got this waterproof thin set. Why don't we get it here in the United States? And on and on. This was probably, about 3-4 years ago, I think I was doing those videos. And, I got all these responses from people that, their Schluter reps were just fed up. And I'm sure they're like so sick of hearing this Tile Coach guy. But what it did, I believe, I think, these companies, these manufacturers, they're not just all the big bad wolf, right? They're, they are profit motivated. They are, they're companies, they're corporations, not necessarily run by one person, but they're a corporation. They gotta, their stockholders have to profit as well. But, I think they do have, whether it's, profit motivated or not, they do want to improve their products. So when they get feedback like this, and then the general public has knowledge of this other product that's going to make a system better, they're motivated to make their system better. And Schluter had to be really careful how they did that, because, right, they had 20 years of saying to use unmodified thinset to put these systems together. So they couldn't really backtrack and say, this is what you should be using, because then people would freak out and go, oh, all these showers I did are done wrong now. So what they did is, I believe they took their Schluter All Set and really kind of beefed it up so that it became more waterproof. I mean, Schluter All Set, if you've used it, I mean, it's so highly modified. And in my testing that I've done, it basically does away with that wicking of water. But the Ardex 8+9 is 100% waterproof. So, I mean, and that's a really good, do you use that as part of your marketing? Do you say, hey, this is completely waterproof. We're not using thinset, which isn't waterproof. We're using 100% waterproof components.
Big time. Yeah, I really want to push that because people are, people have been impacted by leaks, and the people that have been impacted by leaks are really more open to allowing Jason and I to really do our thing and really allow Jason to geek out on the construction of their bathroom at that point. And I really admire your channel and what you're doing because you're getting the message out there about how important this stuff is. It's a ton of water. Like dump 10 gallons of water in the corner of your house a day, and that's where we're at. And imagine what happens on a wood frame house. And people, if I was NTC, if I were a lot of these bigger organizations, I would put a lot more time into not downplaying the construction of a shower, how easy tile is, and how everybody can have it, but really getting out there in terms of warning people about that huge investment that's sitting upstairs in your bathroom or wherever that is really a ticking time bomb. I wanted to ask you. I had seen that at one time you were saying that you don't do 24-hour flood tests, and I kind of wanted to have that discussion just about. I really think it. I really think it adds that layer of security to the point now where I'm making like a certificate that Jason and I sign with the plumbing code on it to give to the homeowner after we're done. And I think would be a great idea for everybody that really wants to differentiate because in my area, those flood tests aren't happening. And then when somebody says, "Oh, I've never had a leak," and then I ask them if they do a flood test, they say no. And then I think to myself, well, how do you really know? I mean, because sometimes these leaks take a long, long time to present themselves.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I definitely will touch on that. Can I just shelve that for a second because you brought
sure.
up something that really stuck out to me was you said investment. You talked about the investment of this shower. So what is the title of this video? I wanted to really talk pricing. So what is a tiled shower? Basically, let me basically what you're doing, and let me pull this video up real quick, and you can maybe give me an
Coming over the airwaves, the man says I'm overdue.
I love me some Huey Lewis in the news. I love that. Come on, that gets me pumped up.
Yeah, I don't mind sharing my revenue. See how I like this is actually good. I like the editing. Okay, so this one here then. So, hold on, let me get you back up here. So that shower right there,
Okay.
do you mind sharing pricing on that, or even just a ballpark of what that cost?
Not at all. This was $24,209.33 for that shower, for the door, for Jason and I. It took us, I think, about 3 weeks, and we did the outside floor in a large format plank tile. We didn't do any cabinets. We didn't do any no new toilet, nothing like that. So $24,209.33. And I would like to say that
Did you do the plumbing?
yes, we did it all.
Okay.
Yeah, we use a plumber, and I would like to say on that one too, because of my brand development, that gentleman called us based on Google.
Mhm.
And he said, when we showed up, he's like, "I knew I was going to hire you based on your phone message." And all of our Google phone calls could come in and go to a voicemail, which is a little bit different. Like I would think that most gurus would say, "No, you want to pick up the phone." But we don't want to pick up the phone when we're working. We want to be focused on what we're doing. So our message on our voicemail is, "Hey, we're working right now and we'll call you back." And in 2021, I got 500 leads and I called everybody back. But this gentleman said, "Oh, your message was so great. I knew I was going to hire you." We walked into his home, and I bring a marketing folder with like how long it takes to build our showers, 10 days minimum for 2 guys in your house. I do our differentiation sheet. I kind of give a nice presentation. We dress nice, and this gentleman was like, "Yeah, hired. Can I write you a check, please?" Didn't I mean? And most of our homeowners are like that. One of the main primary questions I ask is, "Have you looked at us online? Have you seen our stuff?" And our homeowners overwhelmingly always say Yes, they want to know how their stuff is built. They want to know who's in their house, and they want to know that they have people that know what they're doing and really take passion in what they do. And they found Jason and I, and that they're happy, you know. And you can see the finished product turns out really good. I really truly think that Jason and I give a great offer and we do a great product and service. And I want to highlight the service, right? I haven't set up a wet saw without a wet saw tent to collect the water in like 2 years. When we're stacking up our thin set, we're putting cardboard down under all the bags. Jason does that. There's just all these little things that we do, like where would you like your tile at the end of the job? I'm always focused on doing that kind of stuff. Putting on my shoe covers when I go to their private bathroom, putting the seat down. All of these kind of things are, to me, what makes our service. You know, the product is the product. I mean, a lot, you know, somebody can build a product, but the service to me is, I think of it as service. The root is serve. I'm there to serve my homeowners.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And
That's a great point. You know, because that price, honestly, you saying 24,000 and change to tile a shower. I'm sure in the comments that we see here, people are going to say, you know, that's crazy. I could only get 5,000 for that shower.
that's everything, Isaac. That's
Yes.
everything,
Yep.
Isaac. That's
Yep.
the glass. That's
Yep.
everything.
Yep. Yeah. And as you explain it and you break it down and you're able to communicate what's involved, you communicated very clearly to me and to the audience what is involved in that. And I think the key is, and this would be a lesson for any tile contractors that are watching this that want to be able to charge that top dollar, that top tile money, like Luke just commented there. There's things you can do to get that, but you need to be able to communicate that up front, because average Joe homeowner, while he may get a good feeling about you, he doesn't know exactly what you're offering and what guy in the truck is offering, right? Guy in the white truck rolling up, just going to put the tile in. So being able to communicate that, I like that you have actual literature printouts of, you know, explaining what you're going to do, how you take care of everything, how you, you know, take, you know, not just care in the job, but also of their house. The thing is with remodeling is we are, okay, sorry, someone said my mic volume's a little low, so I'm going to turn it up here. You know, being able to communicate that with print is huge. And I do it, you know, the thing with me, and it's so awesome about video, and I've shared a lot about, because I'm on YouTube, people already feel like they know what we do. So I don't have to as much explain those things. They're already aware of it. But if you don't have a social media presence, what you're doing is incredible. And one thing that just popped in my mind when you mentioned bathrooms, one thing that I've noticed that customers really like, and this might be a good tip, is a portable toilet, so that you're not using their bathroom, whether it even be a hall bath or, you know, the guest bathroom, powder bathroom. You know, construction workers peeing in the room, you know, taking a crap, whatever. I mean, it's just, if you have that portable toilet, and they're really cheap. Most people don't realize that you can get, I think it's like $120 a month. You get this toilet that you can put out in somebody's job. So, I mean, a couple $100, what that would mean. And that could be also something that you explain to the customer up front. Look, we're going to be here for 2 weeks. We're not going to be crapping and peeing in your bathroom. We do that outside. We wear booties. We do this. We do that. We do that. So I don't know. That just popped into my mind. But I love how you talk about the service.
I would like to. I mean, I'm sure there's people that think, "Wow, that's a lot of money." That those guys, whatever. But you guys need to think about the responsibility and the liability that you take building things in their house. Like if you build somebody steps, for example, you're taking responsibility for those steps. In turn, you're also taking responsibility for everybody that walks down those steps for as long as those steps are in existence. Okay. And that's how we think about things. And that's one of the things that I feel the public doesn't like about construction, is that people don't take responsibility. You know, you listen to the complaints, and a lot of them are just about people not taking responsibility for their actions, for their works, on and on and on. Now, one of the things that Jason says is really insightful is that everything's good with your methods and how you do things until somebody's not happy. Okay.
Mm.
And then it goes to the book. And then it goes to like the installation manual. And then it goes to like pointing fingers and all this kind of stuff. And what I try to do is in our brand development, like I put stuff out there. And what I strive to then do, Jason and I, is to live up to those things. I come up with all that. I come up with all that, everything I put out there about us, because I know that that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting when you talk to people about marketing. I talked to a GC about it or whatever, and I try to put myself in his shoes, and what I understood was that he I don't necessarily trust a company without marketing, and he doesn't trust a company with marketing. So everybody thinks of things in a completely different way.
Mm-hmm.
And but for me, what I do as far as putting stuff out there is just to build confidence in our homeowners, and also just to get the word out. That's how I think of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's great, Ben. I lost your video here for a second, so I'm gonna you talked about your methods. I'm gonna show. Oh, there you go, got it. I'm gonna show this other. Just shows how you guys do it. You know, building a shower.
Oh.
Got some deck mud going there. Or do you guys call it dry pack?
That Colo Mix is a great mixer.
The Flow Effects, I love the Flow Effects Universal there.
Man, we love those drains.
You guys liking the Flow Effects?
We love them, love them.
And then you got
that tool's handy.
Yeah, the water filler. Ardex.
That's the kind of stuff.
You guys use a lot of Ardex?
That's our primary go-to, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
We love their X5.
Yep. We've used it for a long time. Flexbone is great too.
Yeah, we use their we offer a free heated floor if you get a master bath with us. And
nice.
we really lean on Ardex's products, because most of our master bathrooms, we're going to self-level them anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to self-level them. You know, we take the heat from take the power from the tubs and put it toward the heated floor. They're matte. You know, we're going to use a plastic mat uncoupling membrane anyway. Mm-hmm. So we just use their mat and snap the wire in, and all we're stuck with is the labor involved in putting it in, and the wire basically, and the components or whatever. But we're really conscientious and careful and skilled. We've done so many heated floors to where it's not really a problem for us to work on them anymore. Mm-hmm. And plus the Ardex system, to where you self-level on top of the wire, mm-hmm. It just makes you feel a lot more secure with actually putting one of these in.
Yeah, in Ardex, I believe they warranty using, because you can use the Flow Effects, and they honor their warranty if you're using the Flow Effects, which is great.
Flow FX, like the number one thing for me is with the old Curdy, what do they call it? It's a bonding flange drain, right?
Yeah, the Curdy. Yep, you got it.
Yes, thank you. You know, when you're doing penny rounds, all the thin set you got to put in around the drain, because you can slide it around and all that. The Flow FX is just so much. It was designed by a tile guy to where little mosaics go in so much easier with that Flow FX drain. And there's a lot of upsides to that drain. We love it. We're not going back.
Yeah, and also the Schluter only goes down so far. So if you have a really thin, like you're talking about, a really thin mosaic, like a penny round or whatever, a little 1x1, the flange, the drain doesn't go down far enough. So you have to try to build up with thin set, and you know how trying to build up with thin set with small tile is just a mess. So yeah, Flow Effects address so much of that stuff. I remember when he first sent me the drain just to look at, and I took it out of the box and I was just playing around with it. I read all the literature. I go, this is like somebody took the Curdy flange and found all the issues with it, corrected them, and made his own bonding flange, which is awesome. So also, if you want to pick up one of those drains, this is just a plug for my channel, go to tilecoach.com. I have, most of you guys already know I have those drains for sale on my website. Those sales help support this channel, so thank you for doing that. But yeah, we love the flow effects. Ardex isn't as big in our area, but I know a lot of people use. I've used it a lot in the past. But yeah, I think it's great that companies, the Ardex, and they'll probably change when they have their own like shower system and drain. But when companies are confident enough in their product, and it's not all about a sales pitch, that they say, we will honor this product, this other products, we'll honor the warranty if you use this other manufacturer's drain, because we believe in our products, we believe in their products, and it just works out. Other companies, Ladecrete, Schluter, you use any other components of their stuff, and they're like, hey, except for I did hear that Ladecrete will honor the warranty of Hydroban all the way up to the drain. So basically, if you use a Flow Effects bonding flange, and honestly, 90% of the Ladecrete installations that I see going in Hydroban sheet membrane or Hydroban, they're not using Hydroban drains, right? They're using either a Flow Effects. Most of them are using Flow Effects now with their Ladecrete, or they're using a Schluter drain, because Ladecrete hasn't done a great job with their drains. Most tile installers are. You talked about the negatives of the Schluter bonding flange. The Ladecrete, that list is even bigger of the issues that you run into using that. So, but Ladecrete, what they said, they go, yeah, we'll warranty the whole system, all the waterproofing, just up to the drain. Obviously, we can't warranty Flow Effects because we don't manufacture it. We don't know everything about it. But the Flow Effects now is UPC listed, which is nice too. They just got their listing a couple months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really. This is part of the thing that you helped us with, and Donnie D with all your tests, and you guys, like, we used to, rep the Schluter warranty, and like, oh, we're and it's what we're doing now is like, no, we stand behind our work. I think it's a strategic mistake to like depend on these companies to like and to put out there that you're depending on them to warranty your work, because they don't. I mean, if you do something wrong, they don't. Like Hamilton Tile stands behind Hamilton Tile's work. I like whatever we do, we'll stand behind it, and we're not going to lean on Schluter or lean on these big corporations to do anything for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna.
Yeah, sorry, I cut you off there, but yeah, I was just saying it's basically a marketing pitch from those companies to be able to sell more of their product. Really, the warranty doesn't do much. And again, if you watch my channel, I've talked about a lot what the warranty is. If you are using a system like Schluter or Ladecrete, what I would do is read the small print of the warranty of what it actually covers, and you'll probably be surprised at they can basically get out of anything. And if the product fails, anyways, we know these products work. So if it fails, whose fault was it? It was the installer's fault. There's going to be the really rare circumstance where there's a manufacturing defect, and I have heard of a few of those happening, but that's like a thousandth of a percent. Like 1 in a million of all the installs going on. Any other problems are because the installer did something wrong. And so,
but Schluter is all about. Schluter is good with my experience. They put out a lot of goodwill. Like we've gone into Schluter installations to where the past contractor messed up the installation of their products, and Schluter will replace the products for that homeowner. I have nothing bad to say about Schluter or any of them. But what I am saying is fundamentally, we're building you something, and Hamilton Tile stands behind their work. I mean, that's great for Schluter, but
that's the accountability part that you were touching on early on. The accountability,
yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, there was one question I want to jump on here that I saw. Someone asked about Matthew Collins asked, Ben, can you please comment on the one-day bathroom renovation industry in Atlanta? Have you heard of that? So is there a company that markets a one-day bathroom renovation?
Yeah, there are a lot of them out there. I'm seeing them on Instagram. I'm seeing the trucks driving by. I don't know if it's the miracle method that they're talking about, but I've seen that people claim they can do the one-day bathroom, and I don't know. You kind of. First of all, if you look at the prices on those guys, it's gonna be crazy to you what they actually get for what they do, right?
Mm.
Like I would think you're better off paying Hamilton Tiles a ridiculous price to have us build something that's truly luxury and adds value rather than whatever they're doing, their plastic, whatever, right? Then they're going to charge you a good chunk for that as well.
Yeah,
So
because
I'm
it's
not
not
seeing
cheap.
like, no, it's not cheap. I mean, but they are going to a certain customer that talks about speed. I call it the fast food mindset. We've been eating McDonald's. We grow up on McDonald's. You go to McDonald's, you get the burger. It's the same burger you get here that you're going to get in California, that you're going to get in England, right? So people are conditioned to think that kind of construction is like that, and you can kind of do that same thing. Oh, fast, blow it out, let's go, and still get quality. I question that. I know it's possible. But those companies market to a certain type of people, and I think the culture in our country too is that of moving very often, being transient.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. It's very hard to sell a lifetime product. The American mind, since public relations has come into effect and marketing has changed. Like I don't even know what a toaster that lasts 50 years even looks like,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm sure if I saw it and I picked it up, I'm like, wow, this is a 50-year-old toaster and it still works. I could tell the difference from the $5 one that breaks after a year. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what bathroom remodeling is. You can't tell the difference until sometimes you walk in there and you actually pick up the toaster, right?
Yeah, yeah. I just posted a video I think 2 days ago about tile work in Mexico, and it was at a resort. I don't know if you saw that, but it
I
was
did.
I was talking about, and I cut, I in the editing I cut a lot of stuff out because I sometimes I can get overly critical and kind of negative. I'm like, that's not the direction I wanted the video to go. But what I was thinking when I was there is that American craftsmanship has basically been, for the most part, all about speed and money. I mean, those are the basic things. Like if you go to any commercial job site here, for the most part, again, there's exceptions, but commercial tile jobs, it's how fast can it get done and what's the best price you can do it for. And so these companies are based around speed and efficiency. They don't care at all about, I mean, they care to the extent that they can get paid, right? If it passes and nobody says anything about it, that's good. They don't care. They got made their money and they move on. In Mexico, I could tell it was a different mindset, probably how we were probably 20 or 30 years ago, where each craftsman who was placing each tile cared about what it looked like. And now here, for the most part in America, if you have a supervisor, speed it up, speed it up. They're speed it up. When in doubt, grout. You got that. Oh, there's a bunch of lippage. Oh, it'll pass. If it doesn't, we'll tear it out later. But that care that I saw in the commercial tile work in Mexico, wasn't able to go to residences. I don't know. But if you look around the resorts and a lot of the hotels that I go to around here, I look at the tile work. I'm going, how did they get away with this? Our country club here that I'm a member of in town, we just had our bathrooms remodeled, and I went and looked at the tile work. The general manager called me in there to take a look at it. And this is a country club. It's not a 7-Eleven bathroom, right? It's commercial, but it should be commercial high end. They picked a nice tile, nice layout, nice design. And I looked at the tile work and I'm going, this is just crazy. There is, grout missing, lippage everywhere. There's a curbless shower, an ADA shower that's actually sloped the wrong way. So when the shower turns on, water runs out and forms a huge puddle outside of the shower, eventually goes into the catch drain. But I'm going, this is what I'm seeing. They don't, how fast can it get done? How fast can it get done to maximize profits? And that's the difference you're seeing. And that's probably why you see these one-day bathroom companies pop up, because I think we have one called Bath Fitters. Is Bath Fitters a nationwide company?
That's national.
Local? Okay, yeah. So
that's national.
Yeah, so they go around and they take an acrylic overlay, basically plastic, right, and put it over the existing shower, whether that's a nasty, moldy, old, failing shower or not. He takes this plastic thing and put it over in one day. And I heard it was like someone told me a quote they got was like 15 grand to do that. I'm going,
Yeah, it's expensive.
15 grand to go in and put plastic over an old moldy thing. And a lot, but again, like you were saying, is a lot of people don't know what proper tile work is supposed to be or done, or do, proper tile work is supposed to, how it's supposed to be done, or how it's supposed to look in the finished product.
Or how they're supposed to be treated when it's being done, because a lot of people are turning to these one day installations, because let's face it, all the people that say $24,000 is too much for a bathroom remodel, those people aren't humbling themselves enough to really please their homeowners and really make them happy and do the things that make you worth that. And I'm going to say, I don't necessarily, because Bath Fitters is getting 15 grand for some plastic sheets. It's not based on what you do, what your work all the time. A lot of it is based on what kind of service you provide, and how you treat the folks, the homeowners that you work for. And that's why in our process, somebody calls and I usually handle the first call, and we talk for a little while. If we're a good fit, we go out there. Like I said, we give our presentation, we talk to people. Jason's really professional about getting down to the root of what these folks want. And his mindset is always, like I said, functionality and longevity. And if the person isn't really on that trip, if they want to put ledge stone inside of a shower, and we know that kind of porous stone is going to be a nightmare to put in, or a nightmare to upkeep, we try to get them away from that. If they're stuck on that, we don't work for them. But after that first initial meeting, Jason sends out the bid and he takes it from there. Right. And I start trying to book the next job, and I become his helper, and I become, I'll set tile on a master bathroom for probably 3 or 4 days. I'm the guy that does all the hard work. Like when we're doing a tear out, I'm the guy tearing it all out, and Jason's just carrying stuff down. And we've been doing it like that for 6 or 7 years. And so I'm really happy with what him and I have gotten, and just where we have gotten. And his efforts in all this have been incredible, because I think a lot of people that probably are part of Tile Coach are technicians maybe, or they like the installation of tile. And that's how Jason was, a 20-year plus technician that's not used to being on camera, that doesn't want to mess with pictures, that doesn't want to talk to people on the phone and all this stuff. And we were able to inspire in him a completely different way. And now he makes his, I mean, I'm not going to get him to shoot a video and post it on social media. He ain't there yet, but I'm just so proud of like where we've gotten, as far as, just getting the word out, and doing what we do and building our brand. And that's often why we make more money than the guy in the white truck. Now, Isaac, I want to say this. There are benefits for a homeowner to hire the guy in the white truck. There are so many benefits. There are. If you can find that guy and he takes pride in his work and he does his thing, hire that guy. But there are also benefits in hiring a brand like Hamilton Tile and paying a little bit more. And, one of those benefits is, we take this very seriously, for example, and we're going to plan on being around, and we have a lot of things in place that add security to the homeowner. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we bring to the table, is the stability and the consistency. Sometimes that guy in the white truck, he ain't so consistent. You get the brown bottle flu, he ain't going to show up on Friday. You know what I mean? Jason and I, we wear basically a uniform when we go to work. That kind of stuff, guys. I really think homeowners deserve that. They deserve that for what they pay. And, my homeowners, when they join on with us and start paying us, man, I'm at your service. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for my vacation. Thank you for my children's shoes. Thank you for my home. That's how I think about it. One job at a time, right? Our full spirit, our full mental capacity, our full physicality into your project. And that's where our value comes from.
Well, that's awesome. Then that's a ton of value right there. I mean, I love your passion and drive, and it reminds me a lot of myself when I was probably your age. And it's awesome. It's incredible, and I think you'll be really successful with that. I would like to talk. You did talk about your partnership, and your partnership that you have with Jason is unique in our industry. I think we talked on the phone a little bit about it before. Typically, you don't see partnerships in a small company, just two people. Most of the time, if you get a partnership, it's a larger company. They run crews, and two people kind of join forces with that. Or you get, a company like mine, maybe 6, 8 employees doing residential remodels, one boss, or then you get the one-man show. Maybe he has a helper, but just a single, which I think probably most of my viewers who are contractors fall into that category. They're a one-man show. They do it all. But you don't hear about the two-man show very often, where there's two. Are you guys both owners of the company, or is he the owner? Or how can you explain your partnership business entity a little bit?
Yeah, we're both owners. We just split everything 50%,
Awesome.
and it works really well that way. The thing I love about having a partner is that I have to do half the work, and the things that I'm bad at. Isaac, Jason, and I are completely different people fundamentally. Hey, diversity is a strength. There you go. This is really like him and I are, but we're yin and yang to such an extent that it's pretty crazy. With most of it, what I find is that, like I said, in our process, when we start the job, I let Jason pretty much takes it from there, right? I'm not thinking about the layouts. I'm not thinking about how, this curb is going to be. I'm not thinking about the glass doors. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I second it all to him. The one man operation, which I know a lot of people have, has its benefits as well. But I believe Jason and I, with a two-man operation of skilled men working on somebody's house, is better than the one operation. I think I can prove it. You know how much it's terrible getting up and down to make your own cuts and all this. Jason works very comfortably. I don't necessarily set tile. I pretty much help Jason to accomplish his 20 plus years of experience in tile, right? And yeah, I think that has advantages. We're not tired out. We get a ton of stuff done in less time. So we work usually 9 to 4. We're off on weekends, and we get things done. And yeah, I think a lot of the thing with partnership is usually when you're a businessman, you kind of are an alpha male, right? The traditional alpha male. You're gung ho, you're after it, you want to do things your way. That's technically why you're not working for somebody else. That's why I'm not working for somebody else. So you get two of those people that want to do business, and you put them together, two alpha people going like this. A lot of the reason for our success is, number one, I'm always honest. Like Jason and I have had some hard conversations, very hard conversations, and he always takes them with graciousness, and he's very steady. This is a man that's just super steady and straight down the middle, right? He's a straight arrow. And, I'm more of a visionary. I'm a little bit more wacky, and he keeps me kind of in my lane, and I pull him over here a little bit. And it just really works to the point where we're doing other business ventures together. And yeah, it's hard. A partnership is hard, but it has to come, you have to have the right attitude around it. And that's basically where Jason and I need him. He needs me. And we understand that, acknowledge that. Another one is the trust and loyalty. You're not going to find a dude more loyal or trustworthy than Jason, and he's proven to me to that. When I first started with Jason, I was probably what you would call rock bottom. I met him on Craigslist, and he gave me the gift of tile to where I now have. I support 6 people. Right? Because of tile, because of a gift that Jason gave me. And never once like other contractors? Was he like, I never got the impression that he was holding something back from me, not telling me how to do something because I'm going to go do it for myself, or I'm going to, when I got my own tools and I started doing things, he encouraged me. He was like, cool, go do it. Come back and do some on our work. Not a lot of people are able to have that kind of heart to co-create with another person. And I super appreciate that. If he's listening, I hope he understands how much I appreciate that.
Wow,
Because, I mean, it is a gift.
what a blessing, what a gift. I love how you said he gave you the gift of tile. I mean, what a beautiful thing. I feel the same way that tile, man, tile has given me so much. It's given me my life, basically. I don't know if I could say it saved my life because that's a really bold statement, but it came at a time in my life when I was at rock bottom as well. And it was just this creative outlet, this way that I could share my talents and vision with other people, creating and building, and then in turn getting the appreciation, the purpose that I had been lacking in my life for a long time. And then the monetary success that came from it. Yeah, I have 4 children as well. I have 2 adult children that are in college. I'm able to support, have a couple homes here in California. I have this awesome YouTube thing going. I mean, I I don't feel almost emotional when you said that, the gift of tile. What a beautiful way to put it, that Jason was able to share that with you and really change your life. I think it's incredible to have that partnership dynamic that you guys have. One of the things that stuck out with to me is that I think is unique is that usually if you get the partnership, right, you'll hear of the partnerships, and I was pitched the partnership deal early on, and it was always, okay, I'll do the paperwork, I'll be the businessman, so you don't have to do that, and I'll get the work, and you do the tile work. And that partnership is always kind of like, really? Like, so you're going to sit at a desk and I'm going to bust my ass out here. And that's usually how the partnership thing is pitched. But to hear you say that you're actually helping on jobs, that you're a part of the jobs, that you aren't just behind the scenes marketing and billing and bidding and all of that stuff that goes along with owning a tile company, you're also helping him physically, that you're making his life a lot better by being on the job and making his cuts and mixing his mud and setting up the saw, whatever you got to do. That's really unique, and I hope more of my viewers kind of hear this, because I think this is a model that could really be replicated.
Yeah, I think you make your helper part of your business. Make them like feel that they are a part owner.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened with me. And I think that's a really good move. Put more responsibility on them. And I've always said, hey, have your helper do your social media. Have your helper answer some phones for you. Just get them going. And I mean, what do you got to lose?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what do you have to lose? Not really much. Just treat people with respect and loyalty, and you'll get a lot out of them. And that's basically Jason and I's story. We met each other on Craigslist. Don't ever tell me that a Craigslist ad doesn't work,
Yeah,
right?
that's awesome.
That faithful Craigslist ad in 2012, Jason. He said that I was one of the only people that could formulate a typed sentence. So I got the job. Look at that.
You qualified.
Woo!
You qualified.
Yeah.
So did
Yeah.
Jason? I have to ask, or Ben, sorry. I have to ask, and I don't know. You mentioned rock bottom. Did your hiring coincide with like a spiritual change in your life, or did it all kind of culminate together, or how did that all happen?
Oh man. Yeah, the timing of it all was crazy. I had come down from New Hampshire where I was born, and I kind of burned a lot of bridges there. I was living in the same hometown I had been living in. I was landing a relationship, and my sister lived in Georgia, and she was like, "Ben, I'll give you 6 months. You just come on down and sleep on the couch or whatever." God bless my sister, right? And I stayed on the couch, but I was, as I said, I was at rock bottom. She had little kids, you know, I was struggling with some depression and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, I worked at a pizza place for like 6 months. I really wore out my welcome at their house. And I had upset her husband. And, you know, I had been working with Jason for 1 week. And my sister and her deceased husband, him and I got in a fight. Like, he's like, you gotta go. So I leave, and I was living in my truck for like 3 weeks working with Jason. And I never really told him, but I told his then partner, Spencer, who then found a place for me to live with a tile guy that he knew. So for my initial beginning of tile, like, I was immersed in tile for like 2 years. I worked with Jason and I lived with a guy that did tile, and I was working with them both. I was doing my own thing, and I was tiling like a madman for like 2 years, living at this guy's house. And eventually, you know, that spiritual journey that you're talking about was actually happened over the course of probably 2 years before I started really finding my groove and figuring out that, no, I'm going to maybe take this tile thing a little bit further, because I was going to go hike the Appalachian Trail. I was that guy. I was like, yeah, I'm going to work for Jason for 6 months and go hike. But, I just ended up staying around and kind of, building myself up. And I'm still doing that. I'm not going to I'm not going to be like I'm already there or something. No, I continue to build myself. And, it's incredible, the journey over the last 10 years. And like I said, I have 4 little kids that I look at. I'm like, yeah, tile right there. It's incredible. I can't really dog tile. And my homeowners, I appreciate them so much.
Mm-hmm. Did you struggle with substance abuse, or was it just depression?
No. Yeah, I mean, I would drink a little at that time, but no, it was all mental for me.
Yeah.
I'm finding more and more, and I've discovered that, everything for me is between my ears.
Yeah.
And so I really nurture that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, I was pretty good in that department.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's to get the purpose. I think, and I shared my story a lot. The purpose that I got from doing tile work really helped get me over the hump of just always getting in my own way, just self-defeating behavior, and but having that purpose of being good at something, and having control of that too, right? Like, neat thing about tile work is you have control over the destiny of the outcome of the project. You can put as much attention and detail into that project as you want, as you're willing to do. And I think that purpose really helped me kind of build self-esteem, right? I think self-esteem is so important in getting over that hump of depression. How do you feel? How do you love yourself? And I think tile work is so important, and in other trades too. I mean, you could take this to plumbing, you could take it to drywalling, painting, cabinetry, carpentry, whatever you want. Tile is a little more. I think tile allows more creativity, right? I mean, how many people stare at a drywalled wall and go, "Oh, that's a great flat wall," But a tile job, whether it's mosaic or a shower or whatever it does, it allows so much creativity and so much, I guess, art. And in doing that and creating something beautiful, it's just a great opportunity to build self-esteem as others appreciate it too. Because I think one of the things that tends to be a characteristic of tile guys is kind of being up in your head, right? And that's why we're good at tile, because we can focus on these minute details and really kind of just obsessive compulsive go after it and make this thing as perfect as we can. And so but there's a drawback to that, right? You can turn into that lone wolf, isolation, and kind of shut the rest of the world off. The awesome thing about doing residential tile work is that you're doing this work, but others are involved too. The homeowner is involved, and they see it and they appreciate it, and they in turn, then you're outside of yourself, right? You're creating and it's being received, and then it's coming back into you, and you're able to do this kind of circle thing. So I think that, you know, we talk about mental health is such a catchword now, and there's awareness about it, which is great. The solution to it tends to be a lot of talk, which I think is good. You know, dealing with past issues, past traumas, whatever, and also medications. Right, medications are a tool that are really popular. But I think what's lacking, for men, anyways, I can't, and I think. Can we talk about, I don't know, gender? Is there even man and a woman anymore? But I still talk about men because I consider myself a man. For men, what's missing out of the puzzle piece of mental health is the doing, the creating, the producing, the ability to get purpose out of doing things, not saying things, not psychologically or medication.
Typing.
Yes, doing things, building, creating. And so my hope is, and I've shared a lot of my videos over the last 10 years. I'll usually do some message, and I talk about that. If you're struggling, check out tile work. I don't know, do your own project. You can do it. Find somebody, if you just want to do it as like a side job, helping other people. Tile work is a great way to create, get out of your own head, and build your self-esteem.
Yeah. I was thinking yesterday, I said to myself, I want to like continue this love fest with Isaac. I want to make it a love fest. And I said, I have three things that I appreciate about Isaac that I wanted to tell him. The number one thing was, I appreciate that you put effort into being a content creator and developing your skills. Like, you have cool cameras, you like really make your videos like nice, I admire that you put so much info out there for homeowners in a non-antagonistic way, and that you have a big heart. Like, sometimes when I'm doing content, I do it in kind of an antagonistic way. I don't, because just for a lot of reasons, but because sometimes the weight of being in business is like on my shoulders. And I just love how you do it in a non-antagonistic way. And then I also applaud you for your vast experience that you have with the tile business, and the products and methods as well. Like, your experiences, I remember watching you doing that thing in Tahoe. Like, I mean, I was like, I'm just so impressed with like how much you've done, and you can tell you've worked, and I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Ben. I do take a lot of pride and passion in the production of videos too. I found that that's another passion of mine, another area where I can create and share. Obviously, I enjoy doing it. I've been doing it a while. And what's neat for me too is you talked about, maybe my style of video and what I've done. What's neat for me, and it's been the same for whether it's construction, people that I've taught in construction, is I get to see the results of my videos and my influence on other social media influencers. I see up and coming social media people, maybe like Tile Chick or Tile Bro or E-Tile, guys that have been creating social media content, and I get to see, and Nathan Tiles the World. I've consulted with a lot of these people on how to be successful with their social media, and to see them kind of take some of the bits and pieces of my production work and add it to their own, because I took bits and pieces from other people. Of course, that's what we do as artists. We don't just create, it's not all here. It comes from the world out there too. We take bits of pieces, we put our own personal twist on it, and then put it out there. So yeah, it's been neat for me to follow the journey of other content creators, and to see that kind of more loving, open way of sharing information and encouraging people and so yeah, that's awesome that you recognize that, and I really appreciate that.
Can we talk about who your favorite content creators are? Then can you come over to me?
Yeah, I would
Who are your favorite?
Yeah, I would say probably my favorite you're talking in the tile world, the tile bathroom remodeling world.
Yeah,
top. Because there's a lot of good ones that are in other trades, building and stuff that but yeah, as far as the tile creators, I would say probably Tile Bro is probably my favorite videos to watch for like Instagram Reels. I've talked about how his editing style and everything is just really on point. Very creative. It's catchy. If you open up a Tile Bro reel, you're guaranteed to be locked into whatever it is he's doing. It's just so neat to watch. As far as like the personality, I really like E-Tile's personality, how it comes through. He's similar to you in more of he doesn't back away from the antagonistic part of it. He'll confront things head on, but he has a really funny way of doing it. There's a humor and a lightness to E-Tile's stuff, the way he does it without backing down. And so I really like his stuff too. Nathan Tiles the World. What is his Instagram handle? Nathan.
It's like I think it's Vision maybe, or is
Vision.
it? Or
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites too. I love how he does they're so relaxed. It's like, the Trailer Park Boys music, dun, 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 and then but it's just him like tiling, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Another one I like is you might know these guys from California. I like to watch American Tile Company out of Salinas, California.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen it before.
Like he has a crew and he's doing his thing, and every time I look on his thing, I'm like, man, I admire him. Like he's really doing the thing. And then another one that he probably doesn't even do it for content, but Telechia Tile in San Diego. Do you know him?
Yep.
I like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Nathan Tiles World, I know him as Vision because I see him more on Instagram, but his stuff is great as well.
Yeah, Nathan, he did a mosaic, and I commented on. Did you see that mountain mosaic that he did?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think he did it because he was in Wyoming, and I think he moved to Ohio, and then I think he got the opportunity to do another job in Wyoming just this past summer. I believe. I could be wrong, Nathan. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he made a mosaic, and it was a handmade mosaic out of pebbles, and it came out just beautiful, just perfect. It was the mountains with the snow peaks on it. And I see a lot of, people make a lot of mosaics, and I've seen a lot of glass mosaics, and I've seen there's that octopus one you've probably seen on social media before. And to me, they're cool, and I can respect how much work it went into it, but I wouldn't want it in my house. I'm like
a little too
much, right? But Nathan just nailed that mosaic. It was like
blended.
I would love to have that in my shop.
Definitely.
And
he's doing it smart with his brand too, which I appreciate, to where he's kind of like gonna kind of putting it out there that he wants to do more of those.
Yeah.
I think that's very smart, because sometimes as tile guys, we don't really think of the next step. It's like, no, you just did something really cool. If you can recreate that and make that your thing, I think that might be one of the paths in tile to actually a pretty nice little operation, or just a nice work-life balance for you, is you're kind of that guy that does that thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's smart. It's smart on his behalf. You can tell he's super dialed in with how he is, and just everything he's kind of got going on. I really admire him. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Michael Gamboa, I see his message on here. He's, I think he's Smiles and Tiles, Smiley Tiley, I think is his Instagram handle. You'll have to check him out. But I did a video with him. I went down to San Diego. I was telling you Michael was the first one where I made a video with another tile guy, and I just met him on Instagram, and we went down to the San Diego Tile and Marble Golf Tournament, and then I went to a few of his job sites and just did a video, and he ended up getting a bunch of work off of the video we did. So that kind of spawned this whole idea to introducing other tile guy creators on my channel to kind of help the general public, because the thing with YouTube that's different than Instagram is that it's searchable by Google, right? So the title of this video, how much does a tile shower cost in Atlanta, Georgia, right? anybody can be on Google or Safari search engine, and you type in, how much does a tile shower cost? Atlanta, Georgia. Or they don't even have to say Atlanta, Georgia, because Google knows they're already in Atlanta, Georgia. Boom, this video right here is going to pop up. So my idea to doing all of these live streams is to build a community, get like a win-win situation where I get to know you and you also get some benefit from being on the channel. Yeah.
What I really, and I've kind of developed this idea of what I do, like my blog for. I call it an online journal. What we do social media for some of the people that might be a little bit more hesitant to get into it. That's fine. That's cool. I get it. Not everybody wants to put it out there. But what I do my blog, my online journal for, is a historical record about Hamilton Tile. 20 years from now, we're still in business, and I'm selling my company in competition with the man in the white truck. Whose company is more valuable? The guy that has 20 years of documentation of a footprint online, or the guy in the white truck that does all referral-based business, right?
Yeah. Referral-based
business is cool. I'm not hating on you. What I think people should develop their brands for is for that historical footprint. Sometimes a lot of my content doesn't get a ton of traffic. I'm cool with that. If one homeowner sees that content and wants us based on that content paid for itself.
Yeah.
If that content lives into indefinitely on Google, that content pays for itself. And I love to look back at my blog and be like, whoa, look at 2016, what I was thinking, or what Jason and I were doing. And I think that's a really important tool for people is, social media is great. But like you said, YouTube, oh man, I love that YouTube search engine optimization. Like if you post something on YouTube, guys, for a local SEO, your stuff is going to come up as soon as you click post. If I do it with a blog, it might take me a year to get picked up by Google bots, right? But YouTube, for whatever reason, picks up immediately, and it's worth it, guys. It's worth it just to put yourself out there a little bit. And I know I've had a lot of success based on YouTube, but also Google. Like we're Google people. 90% of our stuff is coming from Google, and it gets us in contact with people that really want what we're providing.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people get discouraged with YouTube because they don't get the views, right? It's really hard, and it takes a long time and a lot of content and a lot of consistency to build a YouTube channel that's going to get, like this live stream, 1,000 views on it. But all it takes is one good job. Like you don't need to measure your success on views and YouTube ad revenue. Measure your success on a job that you get, right? Like you said, a $24,000 bathroom job that you might get on a video that only has 200 or 300 views, that's golden right there. So the thing with YouTube is that people are going to be able to find it. That SEO, Google is the king of website content, and so I tell people to take advantage of it, even if you're not getting. I mean, that was one of the things I told to Nathan. I was like, just be consistent. It's going to take a lot of patience. You're not going to blow up with a tile website or tile YouTube channel. It's going to take time. It's going to be slow, and you'll get those jobs that make it all worth it. So.
Yeah, I sometimes it's funny. Like I love the women in trades, and I see like they have. Like again, like the guy in the white truck, he has an advantage over Jason and I in some ways, and we have advantage. Like the girls that are doing trades, they have an advantage in some ways.
Oh, in social media,
but they have very many disadvantages because I work for a female builder, and she tells me people disrespect her, they don't think she's serious, and all this kind of stuff. So for every advantage that they get based on their looks, I think they're equally disadvantaged based on the fact that they're women in a lot of situations, right?
Yeah.
And I think we all have our pros and cons, if you will.
Yeah, and I think just if the emphasis of social media, this would be my lesson to people who are doing it. Do it for the results that you're really looking for. Likes and popularity, it's nice, but it doesn't pay. Somebody could have 200,000 followers on Instagram, Well, what is that paying? What is that paying you? Unless you're able to capitalize on that with like a successful construction business, it's going to be able to capture any referrals you get from that. It's peanuts what Instagram is going to pay for you. I had a YouTube short, which is basically like an Instagram reel, TikTok, and they monetize them very similarly. I had a Instagram where you probably saw it. I had an or YouTube short that has over 10 million views in less than a year, and I made $34 on it in revenue.
Right.
$34 for
Right.
10 million views. So unless I
Well,
was
that's
able to
why
capitalize on those views and direct them to a website or direct them to somewhere where I could, get a job from
yeah.
them, then it's pointless.
Well, I say that people should be building up their own personal brand on their website first.
Yeah.
That should be your first place that you post your new pictures, not your last place, or not the
Oh,
place that you post them, not the place that you post them just for whatever. I'm constantly keeping HamiltonTileGA.com updated with new stuff. And I'm seeing by analytic wise, I mean, I don't get a ton of visitors. Like I get 5,000 views a month, basically,
mm-hmm.
for a tile website. And that's not a ton. But at the same time, I'm keeping people updated. When people go to my platform, they're not only getting my sales pitch, but they can get a little bit of help to at least compare and contrast what other people were doing. And I would like to say to your audience as well is if you would, I would be honored if you gave my YouTube channel a subscribe. Jason and I are going to build this more over the coming year. That's one of the things on our New Year resolution list,
Mm-hmm.
and I would really appreciate and I'd be honored if you would click subscribe and check out our stuff. I'm going to continue to develop our presence on YouTube, and I would really appreciate it.
So that's are you Hamilton Tile on YouTube?
Yeah, at Hamilton Tile GA. Yeah, on
Awesome.
everything, Facebook, Instagram, everything. I'm excited for the new year. We got some good goals. We're going to really focus our brand on the service side
Mm-hmm.
of what we do, because I'm really beginning to think, like, one of the stories I had was, we're doing a shower, and we get one garage bay to use, right? And right in the garage bay, very close next to us, was a Honda WRX, black, sported out, super nice. The homeowner never left, really didn't leave the house very much, right? And this car was parking there for the entirety of our job for about a month, right? About a foot away from where we were mixing.
Yeah.
And I said to myself at the beginning of that job, I was kind of protecting everything, making sure. I said, Ben, if you keep this car undamaged, guess what? You are who you say you are at that point. And by the end of the job, we kept that thing. There were no scratches, and it had a little bit of dust on it too, that I could see. And the dust was not like harmed in any way, right? And just little things like that, that I really feel is a strength. And when you're hiring a remodeler, you have to think of the service side too, because they can cause such a mess in your life. That's why, they can cause a mess in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, awesome, Ben. Well, hey, it's been a pleasure having you on and talking with you. I think you're going to be really successful. Again, it takes patience and time, but you have the message, you have the right attitude, and I think you guys are going to do great. So, yeah, all my viewers out there, go check out Hamilton Tile on Instagram and YouTube. And I try to cut these off about an hour, and went a little long because it was going so good. So, Ben, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon. And so, I got to tell you, I love you, Ben. I love you.
Love you too, Tile Coach. And you know what? I really appreciate you. Keep up the hard work. I'd like to remain friends with you because I mean, like you said, we've known each other for years.
Yeah.
But this is our first real experience with each other. I mean, I think, let's remain friends, man. And I'll see you out in California someday. You come to Georgia and meet my family, okay?
Right on, Ben. All right. Have a great
Thank you,
day.
brother.
New Year.
You too, brother.
See you guys.